Cafe Zenon has been a staple downtown for over 25 years. They first opened in 1982 and abruptly shut down 2 years ago. And we have since reopened them a year and a half ago in 2009. We are categorized as international cuisine. That's what we pride ourselves on. We like to pull from all over the world. You know, one of my passions is economy and fossil fuels and why people cook the way they do. So I look for my inspirations from all over the world. You know, we go from Germany to Britain to South America, pretty much all over the map. So I grew up in the construction industry, and I don't know, it just wasn't for me. I didn't want to follow the family trades. I just kind of wanted to leap outside of what my family had done, and now I'm a chef. So it just kind of always interests me. Food is one of the human necessities. One thing I love the most, fire. No, actually the one thing that I love the most is what it's taught me about culture and different people. It's shown me the world through food.
Speaking of tasty food, every Tuesday is Tasty Tuesday here on KVAL's Morning News. And each week we feature a local restaurant and have a local chef whip us up some tasty treats. Well, today we are headed to downtown Eugene. On the corner of Pearl and East Broadway, you will find the ever-popular Cafe Zenon. Most people are familiar with the popular pumpkin pie that they serve this time of year, but you may not know that when it comes to pumpkin, the possibilities are endless. Addison Taylor is there, joins us now live. What's cooking this morning, Addison?
Nothing just yet, but it's all about this morning. It's a pumpkin squash. As you can see, it's a little bit smaller than the pumpkin you might carve, unless it's one of those really cute little itty-bitty ones for 99 cents you can get at the store. But we're talking about pumpkins this morning, and to tell us all about them is Chef Scott Whitus from Cafe Zenon. How you doing this morning?
Very well. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for asking. So one thing I want to make very clear to begin with is that when you're cooking with pumpkins, you don't necessarily want to use the big 20-pound ones that you might carve, right?
No, the ones like you see out at Albertsons are meant for carving. The pumpkins actually are one of the largest pumpkins out there, or squash out there, I should say. The larger they get, the more bitter they get. So you want to choose a pie pumpkin, something that's small and petite and has more sugar in it.
Kind of like maybe this size?
Yes.
Okay. And we also were talking about how these are a little bit smoother, so that might be a giveaway as opposed to this might be a good one to cook with.
Exactly. Yeah. Actually, the pie pumpkins are usually a smoother texture. Again, small. I wouldn't really want to go any bigger than a basketball. You know, basketball's getting pretty large.
Yeah, so. All right, so we're not cooking just pumpkin pie, something very generic. We're going to get pretty exciting here. So what are we cooking up first?
This is going to be a pumpkin souffle.
Okay. And how? Let's put it together. How does it work?
Let's put it together. All right, let's do that. Well, we're going to start with 6 egg whites right into the mixer.
Is that so it's healthier with egg whites?
Well, actually, we're going to use the whole egg.
I was just kidding.
Will come in a minute.
Okay.
Don't feel free to get your hands dirty in there. It's the quickest way.
I like to watch as opposed to just getting dirty. You know, I really can absorb and learn a lot by just watching the other person cook.
And with the whites, we're going to go with just a dash of cream of tartar, which is a crystalline salt of tartaric acid. They actually scrape this off the inside of wine barrels.
Oh.
It will help stabilize the egg whites to give you a fluffier souffle.
Okay. Well, we are making pumpkin souffle. Now, this takes a while to cook, so we're going to have it cook all morning long, and of course, we'll be checking in on it from time to time, and we have lots more in addition to our pumpkin souffle coming up as KVAL News at 6 continues, so stay with us.
What is cooking, Addison?
Pumpkin souffle is cooking. Before we get to that, it takes a little bit like 20 to 25 minutes to cook and sort of put everything together. But we wanted to talk to, joining me again is a chef here from Cafe Zenon, Scott Whitus. And we were talking about how for the pumpkins, you can use canned pumpkin if you want, but you can also buy one this size and use fresh pumpkin, which is what we have right here over there. So how did you get this, I guess?
Well, you cut the pumpkin in half, lengthwise. This way, you're going to want a spoon, scoop out the seeds. You can reserve the seeds for toasting, and then I sprinkle it with a little bit of olive oil and throw it in the oven for an hour and a half at 350 degrees, and then take it out, chill it, and then I have spun this in what we call a robocoup or a food processor.
So it's kind of like pumpkin paste.
Yeah, pretty much.
Fun stuff. But that also comes in a can.
Yes, you can buy this in a can, but I don't prefer that.
Of course. And so what are we doing now with our souffle?
Right now I have my egg whites whipping to a soft peak, which, as you might be able to see, the whites will stand on their own when picked up. We're going to let that go for another couple of seconds. And the yolks here I have whipped to a thick custard-like consistency. And to that I'm going to add a pinch of cinnamon, a pinch of ginger ground, a pinch of clove, and just a couple scrapings of nutmeg.
Mix that all together?
Mix it all together, and as your whites are whipping here, now you can add in a half cup of sugar, about 2 tablespoons at a time.
That's going to give it sort of that stronger consistency?
Yes, that'll actually, if you add the sugar in too quick, it might even break down your molecules and let your
Make it a little runny?
Yeah, exactly. It won't let your whites set up as quickly.
Well, it takes a little while to make these, but it's all worth it, I promise you. And we got more coming up other than pumpkin souffle, so that's what we got for now. Stay with us. Back to you guys in the studio.
Okay, thanks, Addison.
Well, remember, we've been working on that souffle all morning. We actually have a casserole cooking right now. I wanted to talk about something real quick about pumpkins. Real cool is that you can use them as a fruit or a vegetable, right? So they can be like, how is that? What does that mean?
Well, I say a fruit, you can use them as a fruit or a vegetable, meaning that you can either do sweet dishes or savory dishes, like desserts or entrees. You know, breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
Okay. And right now we're working on a dessert, obviously, the souffle.
Yes, this is the finale to the souffle. So I have taken my egg yolks, my beaten egg whites, and my pumpkin, folded it together, and now I have a lightly buttered souffle cup here that I have dusted with sugar. And then we will just fill it with our mixture.
Great. And then we pop that in the oven for how long?
This actually goes into a water bath. And
sounds fancy.
Yeah. And this just ensures even cooking time and temperature.
Okay. Well, we actually have a couple of these in the oven right now because they do take a little while. You know, we'll show those to you later, but we wanted to talk about this casserole right here. So what do we have over here?
This is actually a butternut squash and caramelized onion gratin, which I am going to go into my dish here. These are just caramelized onions, a little bit of garlic, some chickpeas, oregano, and green onion. Very simple.
This would be an example of sort of like the main course.
Yes,
use of
this
pumpkin
would
squash.
be kind of a side dish to your Thanksgiving dinner, whatever. So I've got it into my casserole dish, and I'm going to crumple up some fresh goat cheese over the top of it, and then throw it underneath a broiler to toast.
And then we have our finishing touch over here, right? Of course, so we could possibly use these somehow.
Yes, you could. Actually, those are some toasted pumpkin seeds or butternut squash seeds. And I'm just going to sprinkle those over the top with this cheese, and there'll be a nice little crunch to it.
Sounds great. Well, all of these are on KVAL.com. Stay with us as KVAL News at 6:30 continues.
Addison Taylor is standing by right now, and he's got a couple of suggestions. So how's it looking this morning, Addison?
It's looking great. Now, this is the big reveal. We are cooking all morning long, and here's our souffle right here. So tell us, what is this?
So this is the pumpkin souffle. It has fallen a bit. We took it out of the oven a minute ago. These are something that you want to serve immediately, right after coming out of the oven. This is kind of a nice caramelized top, and you can see that nice fluffy cakey texture inside. Souffle in French is a past tense verb for the word to breathe or whisper.
Okay. And I want to grab the casserole. It's just finishing up right now. I want to talk real quick about, while I taste this, about pumpkins, is that you can use it as a fruit or a vegetable in sort of like in a dessert or as sort of like a main course, sort of like this casserole right here. Oh, that's really good. Oh, it's very pumpkin-y. Makes sense, right? So what do we have here again?
This is a butternut squash and caramelized onion gratin with chev cheese or goat cheese. It's a nice side dish for any Thanksgiving meal. Something a little out of the ordinary.
Yeah, well, sounds great. Well, thanks for waking up early and cooking all these pumpkin-esque foods for us. Back to you guys in the studio.
Yeah, some great ideas. Thank you, Addison. I had no idea you could make a souffle out of pumpkin.